Okay, we're going.
When we experience really what it is to be a community, to be together, it's a gift. It's such a gift. So let yourself go. Let yourself fall into the music. Raise your voices and sing with us. When we experience really what it is to be a community, to be together, it's a gift. It's such a gift. So let yourself go. Let yourself fall into the music. Raise your voices and sing with us. When we experience really what it is to be a community, to be together, it's a gift. It's such a gift. So let yourself go. Let yourself fall into the music. Raise your voices and sing with us. When we experience really what it is to be a community, to be together, it's a gift. It's such a gift. So let yourself go. Let yourself fall into the music. Raise your voices. Oh, let us hear you sing. Find your voices. Come on. We just want to hear you sing. We just want to hear you sing. Just you. One more time. Shabbat shalom, just your voices. You sound so good. Haolam kulo yesher tzareh. Now I know. Yesher You know this one? Sing it out. Let's see what you can do. Come on. Raise your voices.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and welcome to our Shabbat evening service. And wonderful to be together on this very special Shabbat. And welcome to all of us who are joining, whether you're from Temple, you're connected in some way, you're visiting with us on this wonderful Shabbat. And you've just been listening to and seeing the song session from Friday night of the recent 2019 biennial convention of the Union for Reform Judaism, and so able to join together in a little bit of that ruach, that amazing experience of having, right now that seems so far away, of bringing together 5,000 people in any stretch or in any capacity seems almost impossible, and yet it was only a few months ago that we were together in Chicago. And on this Shabbat, our last Shabbat of August, I suppose the last Shabbat of summer, whether that's really summer or not, but Labor Day always for me was the end of summer, and so this is our last Shabbat of summer. And next week we'll be joined by Deborah Comey, who will be leading music this next week. And this week we're thrilled to have our cantorial soloist Jesse with us. And so we'll begin on page 10 with Hine Matov.
Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessings, O God. As we turn to the words of Lecha Dodi on page 20, as we welcome Shabbat into our hearts and into our homes.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'diborecha,
And we turn to page 24 as we continue welcoming Shabbat and welcoming each other with words of Shalom Aleichem, may peace be on all of us. That sense of wholeness, that sense of health, that sense of being complete together.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And on page 26, we join in Chatzi Kaddish, that mystical punctuation, that prayer that ends Kabbalat Shabbat, our introductory service of welcoming Shabbat, and leads us into our evening service, our Mariv service.
Yitkada Shmei Rabbah, Ve'am Hadivrach Yirutei Ve'am Lich Malchutei, B'chayechon u'yomechon u'chayedacho Beit Yisrael, Bagala u'bizman kariv Imaru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Olam Me'amaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitba'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalel Shemini Kudashah B'richu Leila Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma mimaru amen.
And as we flip over the page to 28, we tell each other and we tell God that we are in fact ready to pray as we join in Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Leolam Va'ed.
And on page 30, we find the Ma'ariv Aravim, that prayer which speaks of the mystical creation, that God put the stars and the planets in their constellations and in their cycles and renews the work of creation each and every day. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, ובתבונה משנה עיתים ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני Ma'ariv Aravim. Everlasting love you have offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws, and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Ahavat olam Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Ukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadata Alkeinu Adonai Eloheinu b'shofenu U'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha V'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha U'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayenu Ve'orech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam v'layla Ve'ahavatcha al tasir Mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael.
Page 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things, your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works, and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. As we turn to page 34 and join in Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vayed.
And on the following page we join in Va'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu advarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'divarta bam, v'shivtecha b'beitecha, u'vlechtecha v'derech, u'shochbecha u'vkumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu etotafot b'ineinecha, u'chtavtam Mizuzot beitecha ubisharecha leman tizkeru asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yetem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Lehiot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem emet. page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot, osef eleh, Nora tehilot, osef eleh, Adonai imlach leolam vaed, malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe, ze Elianu ve'amru, ze Elianu ve'amru, Adonai imlach leolam vaed. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot, osef eleh, Nora tehilot, osef eleh, Adonai imloch leolam vaed.
V'ne'emar kifada Adonai et Yaakov v'galo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Baruch atah Adonai haborei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haborei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable, without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happens once upon a time happens all the time. And on page 44, we thank God for the blessings and the opportunities that we have to celebrate Shabbat.
Shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לתורתם ברית עולם. בני ובן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agit tehilatecha. Adonai, open our lips, that our mouths may declare your praise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agit tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevig Ula lifnei v'neihem, L'man Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Abraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol harav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol barachamim rabim, Somech noflim berofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha bagevurot umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, kadoshim b'chol yom yehalu chasala. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el hakadosh.
Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see, wherever we gaze, that the bush burns unconsumed. And we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Ever-present One, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, in whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yira na'avod.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu Ve'amecha Yisrael U'tefilatam me'ahava tikavel U'tehi leratzon Tamid avodat Yisrael Yisrael Amecha Il Korov Lecha Korov Penei El Avadecha Lechaneinu Shefach Ruchacha Aleinu V'techezena Einenu V'shuvecha leTzion Barachamim Baruch atah Adonai Hamachzir Shechinato L'Tzion L'Tzion L'Tzion.
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Shalom Ra Yisrael tasim leolam. Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Ki Ata Melech Adon Lecho Shalom Ki Ata Melech Adon Lecho Shalom Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam V'tov b'necha levarech Et Amcha Yisrael Mechulit uvachal shah bishlomecha Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
And with those beautiful words in our ears, we take a few moments away from the texts of our tradition and look inward to the prayers that are in each of our own hearts and our minds. So moments of silent prayer.
Ratzon imrefi, ratzon imrefi, legion libim lefanecha, Adonai tzuri v'goali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you. Oh Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Ose shalom bimrama. Uyase shalom aleinu. Lekol Yisrael. Veimeru, veimeru. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This is one of the last three Shabbat celebrations before we enter into our Rosh Hashanah holiday. And so I wanted to talk a little bit this evening about this moment of time, this period we're in called Elul, or the time in which we celebrate this this opportunity to begin thinking about Rosh Hashanah. One moment. Here we go. So I thought we would talk a little bit about the idea that Rosh Hashanah is coming. And how do we know it's coming? Because it is Elul. And Elul is the Hebrew month that precedes Rosh Hashanah, the new year. And tradition has it that we mark this new month with the blasts of the shofar. So we have 3 weeks that are left, 3 weeks from tonight actually, in which we will then celebrate Rosh Hashanah. So, the month of Elul. How do we prepare ourselves for the holidays to come? How do we get ourselves ready? Here's your quick guide for preparations, courtesy of one of my colleagues, Rabbi Astrakhan, in a little bit south of us in Pennsylvania. So, number one, getting into a relationship with God. We don't often think of ourselves as entering into this kind of experience of what it means to be in a relationship with God. We don't think sometimes that we are. And yet Judaism has always seen it as a relationship, we give to God and God gives to us. But not only do we have to work on our relationship with God, we also have to work on our relationships with each other. We have to work on healing the things that we did that weren't the best in our relationships, and maybe thanking those people who are in our lives for the wonderful relationships that we have. And a lot of it has to do with listening to the shofar's call. The shofar's call which motivates us to that distinctive sound that says, wake up, wake up. Something important's happening. A new year is about to begin. And of course, as we prepare for this new year, we think about standing in front of God on Yom Kippur. On Yom Kippur, this day of judgment. And on Kol Nidre, we begin with a clean slate, a clean opportunity. We have done the hard work over the month that we're doing right now, this hard work of getting ourselves ready. I know if all of those of us who are involved with putting together our high holiday services, we're hard at work preparing for sure. And we hope to have a wonderful, wonderful high holiday experience for all of us. We won't be together in person, but we will be certainly together in spirit. The shofar's call. The shofar is the alarm clock of the soul. Each day, traditionally in the morning, during the month of Elul, if you were listening or going to a daily service, we would hear the sound of the shofar to wake us up. The shofar reminds us that we have work to do, that we have work to do to settle scores amongst the people that we may not have done the best things to or with. It reminds us that we have to heal those relationships. Now, imagine if we had this shofar ringtone, and I'm probably, I'm sure somebody's created a shofar ringtone. And that shofar ringtone would call us into service. And so with Rosh Hashanah quickly on the way, how are you preparing yourself? What are you doing to get yourself ready? Is it cooking? Is it getting your house ready? Is it thinking about who's going to be at home? And this year we have the added struggle or opportunity to create a sacred space in your home in which to join together for services. And I want you to think back to the very first time you heard that shofar that you can remember. And sometimes maybe it's something that you don't remember hearing for the first time because you heard it even before you could recall, even before you had memories. But think about, where were you when you think back to your childhood, or think back to the first time you may have heard the shofar. Think about the surroundings, your place in your life, at what point you are in your life when you heard that strange and mystic sound. Who are you with? Are there people that you shared that first Rosh Hashanah with who aren't here anymore? And when the shaliach, or the Baal Tekiyah, the person who was blowing the shofar, sounded that very last Tekiyah Gedolah, that last long sound, the sound that seemed to go on and on, it almost is there to push us into the next year. There's a quote here from the Velveteen Rabbi. Make shofars of us, God. Breathe through us. Make of us resonating chambers for your love. So we have an opportunity to become a shofar to the world, to take these next 3 weeks and use them to create a better place, a better world around you, a better world in which you have influence. And above all, keep calm. Rosh Hashanah is coming. Shabbat Shalom. As we all take a few moments now, we listen to the sound of the shofar. And we'll ask Brad Fox to welcome, and we'll ask Brad to blow the sounds of the shofar, the 3 sounds, Tekiyah, Shavarim, and Teruah, and then ending again in Tekiyah. Thank you, Brad. Yasher Koach. And we look forward to you blowing the shofar for Rosh Hashanah, and looking forward to coming together with all of our community for this great experience as we celebrate a new year, a different year, a year that was and promises to be different than things we may have imagined, and yet full of opportunities. Shabbat Shalom. Let's turn together to page 253 as we think of all those in our lives, in our community, who are in need of blessings of healing. And whether that is a healing of the mind, the body, the soul. Whether it's a healing of the heart, we especially think of all those who are afflicted with the coronavirus, this virus that has changed our lives and has caused so much heartache and grief. And we're so thankful to our medical professionals. And this prayer is also for them as a sense of strength as they continue to work and to heal for us all. In our community, we think of Lisa Chinsky, Joan Harf, Frances Miller, Emily Bostwick, Nancy Comey Bell, Fran Porras, Kevin Hicks, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Eric Perry, Judith Goldman, Myrna Urkov, and Scott Gordon. And if you have names that you would like to add, please add them into our chat box in YouTube so that we can all share and direct our energies of healing towards all those who need them. We join together.
Makor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebeirach imotenu mekor habracha leotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We turn now to Aleinu on page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, lateit gedula leyotzeh bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishachavim u'modim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shehu notei shamayim ve'oser haaretz, u'moshav yikarav hashamayim imo, u'shchinatu zo, v'kopei meromim, Hu Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efezuloto, Kakatu v'torato, v'adatayom v'ashevuta elevalecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim imo, v'haaretz mitoch ha'teinot, v'nemar v'haya Adonai, Lamelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have loved and lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. We are in the period of Shloshim for Barbara Shapiro, Ruth Randall, and Joan Strasser. We observe the following yahrzeits on this Shabbat: Ruth Horowitz, Benjamin Brown, Sarah Melnick, Eliezer Ehrlich, Aaron Strasburger, Fred Wittenberg, Bayard Rustin, Samuel Umans, Sigmund Levy, Bertha Backman, S. Maxwell Flitter, Carolyn Falk Wolf, Herman Mass, Henry Smith, Sis Lechner, Hirsch Jacobs, Florence Shack Daniels, J.C. McIntosh, Ida Bernstein, Miriam Patton, and Seaman Rose. If you have any names that you would like to add, please add them into our chat box as we turn to the words of Kaddish on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Ba'alma divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'larmeh almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dikudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran ba'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who grants peace in the high and distant heights grant peace for us, for all Israel, for all the world. And together we say, Amen. Well, Shabbat Shalom to everyone. We have a few announcements. We're dedicating services this evening in the memory of Sarah Melnick, Bayard Rustin, Sis Lechner, Herman Mass, Ruth Horowitz, and Seaman Rose. And donations that have been made to our flower fund will be used to offset the costs for our virtual communications during this time. Saturday morning Torah study begins at 11 a.m. I hope you will consider joining us for a great series of conversations and a great Torah study. The Torah portion and the links to Torah study can be found on our service sheets, and this is an especially important Torah portion throughout the year because this was my bar mitzvah portion. I hope that you will join us this evening for our Shabbat Oneg. Our Shabbat Oneg. I'm posting the link into the chat box so that you can find it there, or it is of course available via the service sheet that was emailed out to you. You should receive your High Holiday newsletter within the next few days. If you don't, or if you have questions, please call the office and if you need any more information, please let the office know. Or if you need help gaining access to services, etc., please let us know. Our High Holiday services will be hosted via Zoom and also available via YouTube. So this evening we will conclude. Jesse, what are we concluding with?
Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen.
We wish you a Shabbat Shalom, a Shabbat of peace, of health. Stay safe. We'll see you soon. Shabbat Shalom.